going live here in a minute here. Check 1 2 1 2. Check check check. Check check check. Okay, it's working. Awesome. Wait, let's just see.
Just taking a second here.
Okay, I think it's working now. Cool. I don't want to do that. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Edit the screen, how that moves. Okay, cool. Okay, today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about alcohol, actually. I know it's been a while, and I do apologize. I've been wanting to get on here more and do more of these. I was going through a move, and I'm finally kind of situated in my new house and things like that, so that's awesome. God bless you guys. I'm glad if you're joining me today. You may need to grab a Bible if you have one, if you're interested in having one handy. You don't need one, but we're going to continue. We're going to start now. But I want to talk to you guys about alcohol today. And I've got some notes here that I want to give you, but oops, whoa. So let's just get right into it. So basically, alcohol's bad, okay? And you probably shouldn't be drinking it too much, but there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of misconstrued verses and things like that in the Bible that people really mix up. They're clear as day in the context of what you're reading, but people mix them up often. And I'll just start with Genesis chapter 9. I mean, it's clearly evident in the Bible that Christians probably should drink less alcohol than more, and only use it for very, very special occasions. But that's kind of determined by what we read and what we know in the Bible. So let me just start off by talking about Genesis chapter 9. So Noah drank wine, right? And if you just bear with me, I can look up these verses really quick. Genesis chapter 9, verse 21. Cool. Okay. Right. So 21, and he drank the wine, and he was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. So he became naked in front of his family, and brought a lot of shame to his family. So I don't think that's really a good thing. So really, we all have our moments in time where we've done silly things on alcohol. More than 50% of people who die on the highway is due to alcohol-related problems. More than 50% of domestic violence is due to alcohol. Okay, 50% of birth defects is due to alcohol. 1 in 7 people who drink alcohol become addicted to it. So it's not a mild drug. It's probably the strongest drug there is. We've all watched those intervention shows of the people who really struggle with it. I mean, they're drinking mouthwash and stuff. So it really takes a hold of you and can destroy your life. Now, in Genesis 19:33, Lot's daughters actually secretly gave him wine, and that's kind of what led him to commit incest with his own daughters, because he didn't know when he got up or when he went to sleep or when he awoke. So I find that very interesting. Anyway, if you're joining me today, you can always pop in the chat, and we can talk. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm really rusty, and I kind of have some notes here I want to talk about, but I'm just glad that I'm on here right now and doing this, because it's been a really long time, and I want to actually turn this into a daily thing so I can get better and better at it, actually, and I do it because I want to give back to God, really, and glory to God. And I do make music that isn't really so Christian centered, so this is a way for me to really envelop my life in Christian attitudes and Christian understandings, and help me grow with the Lord and everything like that. So David gave Uriah wine to go against his conscience, because every time, we've all been there. We've gotten drunk and we go against our conscience. We do things that we don't realize we're doing. I had a little issue with alcohol myself, and I can tell you some of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to me were due to times that I was on alcohol. Oh, hey, Kyle. What's up, dude? I'm just on here, just kind of getting used to doing this stuff again. I just told my wife, I'm like, Monday I'm getting on here and I'm gonna start talking about stuff again. I'm gonna be doing these things. So, but I want to go through some of this stuff, and if you had any questions, once I get through the notes, then I can totally open to any questions and all that good stuff. But woe to him. So there's a lot of verses that say woe to him who gives his neighbor drink, pressing the bottle to him to make him drunk, and to look at his nakedness, So it's just it's a mechanism to lower our countenance, and our reasoning, and all those sorts of things. So it's a very tricky sort of thing, and it's really easy to ingest booze because all you have to do is drink it, rather than smoke it or inject it or anything like that. It's really easy just to grab a beer. Oh, that's awesome. Hi, I'm on TV. Wow, I'm on MTV, So, but, that's why we want to be careful with the whole booze thing, because it is really easy to drink. And, and I get it. It's I'm not saying to never drink alcohol. I just think that we probably shouldn't as much as we do, or, and it's so readily available with all the bars and all the things like that out there where you can just go down the street, liquor stores are open longer than other shops and things like that. Let's see. And your reasoning ability, it impairs. It impairs your reasoning, and let's see. And it impairs your reasoning to battle, evil thoughts and essentially the devil, and it drops your sensitivities. So that can really, hurt you in a lot of different ways. But like I said, a lot of the memories I have of embarrassing moments that have happened to me were due to being really drunk, and I mean, I've jumped off stages into people, and people just got upset about that, just different things like that. I mean, I'm not going to share all of it right now, but it's definitely a thing where my most embarrassing moments have come out of being drunk or tipsy or drunk and stoned or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, just recently, I just had a bunch of, even now, I'll be honest with you, I have drinks from now and again, and being 30 years old, it just takes me out for 2 days. I could hardly even work today because I had some, and I'll be completely honest with you guys, but I was drinking some of this beer, and I had a housewarming party, and I ended up drinking 10 beers or something, and that was Saturday, and I'm still affected by it, and it really affects my work. But anyway, let's get back to some of these verses. Yeah, so the fact is we really shouldn't be drinking wine and strong drink. And they call it spirits because you're supposed to do it in good spirit when you're celebrating, not all the time. That way it diminishes its value. So Proverbs 20, verse 1. Let's check that out. Thanks for bearing with me while I look these up. Proverbs 20, verse 1. The new age way to read the Bible is with your iPhone. You can just look up verses. And I kind of like the KJV, and there's reasons why I do, because it's, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. Proverbs 21, wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. So a mocker, it's saying you'll be mocked, I guess, when you drink. So getting mocked doesn't sound like such a fun and exciting thing. Cool. Isaiah 5. I wish I was a little more prepared, but honestly, I was just I need to get on here and start doing this stuff, And I appreciate anyone joining me. As few of you as there are, I mean, it's quality, not quantity, right? First of all, and secondly, I want to preach to those who are available, and who knows what can happen out of that. So, Isaiah 5, verse. Let's see. Okay, here's another verse. And why do I like the Bible? Well, we all have a foundation to build our lives on. So, I mean, are you just going to trust like human rhetoric? All our knowledge comes from written text and the written word. And the older I got, the more like amazing the Bible seemed to me. And I've studied other religious texts and things, but yeah, the Bible is pretty profound. There's like an answer to every question in life in the Bible, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, let's see here. I hope the sound is okay. I don't have a mic just yet, so I'm gonna get into like getting a mic and doing all that. I want to keep these kind of short, like not too long. Probably just like 15 to 30 minutes kind of thing, so I can do them often, so it's not like super intimidating after work. Okay, KJV. Yeah, again, woe. So every time I read a verse like with describing hard drink, it's always saying the word woe, and woe, right? Woe, define woe. Great sorrow or distress. That's interesting. So woe to those who rise early in the morning, that they may follow intoxicating drink, who continue until night, till wine inflames them, right? Woe to those people addicted to alcohol, and any drug for that matter. So, let's see here. It's all warning us right here. It's saying, you're going to have great distress and sorrow if you continue this activity and behavior all the time. Life is moderation. It's a long, long road, really. Cool. Let's see here. So this is kind of interesting, actually. So, and I'm actually going to leave a video, a link here to where I got a lot of this information. This guy named Doug Batchelor, he's a really smart... Yeah, he's a really, really, really smart guy. I'm just kind of reiterating everything he said, but you can check that after. He talks a lot about alcohol in the Bible and things like that. But yeah, the subject of wine versus new wine, and it talks about it in Isaiah 65 verse 8. Isaiah 65 verse 8. I'm trying to get quicker at looking up these verses for you. Okay, KJV. Thus say the Lord, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all. I guess it's saying we should preserve some of the wine, but it's obviously saying new wine is found in the cluster. So new wine is literally grape juice, because it doesn't say grape juice anywhere in the Bible. It's described as new wine, and that's pretty great. And that's good to know. So anytime you're reading the Bible, you want to look at context. Context is everything. So sometimes when it says strong drink, it's actually talking about concentrate, because carrying around grape juice everywhere, water's really heavy. So they condense it down into concentrate, just like we do today, like orange or grape concentrate, and they'll mix it with water to reconstitute it and make grape juice. So that's considered strong drink sometimes. So it's really important to check the context of what you're looking at. So that's, so there's a difference between new wine and wine. Okay, fresh grape juice or cluster juice. And Jesus said not to put new wine in old wineskins. Basically, don't mix grape juice with booze, but also, not to use old glass to fill with fresh grape juice or something like that. But there's a couple ways you can look at that. But basically, yeah, you're not mixing alcohol and grape juice. So let's see here. Proverbs 23 verse 30. This is a good one. Verse 30. And I felt a calling to talk about alcohol today because I've been kind of going on this little back and forth thing where it's just I drink a little bit and then I take a break because I haven't smoked pot in a while, so I kind of replaced it with that and food, to be honest with you. So I need to slow down. I want to talk about food too because that's a really interesting thing. That's for another day. KJV. They that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to find like the whole thing. Okay, yeah. Consider diligently what is before you. And the Bible says not to speak about God, speak about God diligently. You know, not to be stoned, not to be drunk. I found myself many times that I was intoxicated trying to talk about this stuff. And I mumble and stutter a lot more than I'm doing now. I mean, can you imagine? Like, and it's just really difficult. So I want to be like super clear and super like lucid and cerebral when I'm talking about this stuff. And the Bible tells us to be that way too. And it's awesome. It's awesome being sober too, honestly. Like, my new high is being successful and getting success and preaching the Bible too and reading good books and doing things like that and thinking. It can be a really awesome thing, like, honestly. Imagine, like, try to think of all the times you go to these parties and stuff, all the different occurrences in your life that you've been drunk. I mean, fights break out. You know, people say ridiculous things, crazy stuff happens, you know, and you're trying to have fun and have a good time, but it always ends up being kind of weird and you have like a bad experience from that. But yeah, let's see here. Proverbs 23, when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. So he's warning us about food. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Yeah, not to, you know, and it's warning us to give some time back to God, not to just, you know, tarry and work and labor and all these things and eat too much. And, you know, praying is good too, and giving some time back to God. And that's a big reason why I'm on here talking about this stuff and doing this, because I need to give some time back to God. But let me skip to the Proverbs is so great. I really like Proverbs a lot. Be not wine bibbers among riotous flesh eaters of flesh, for the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall cloth a man with rags. See, I didn't drink today. I worked. I was a little cloudy from the alcohol from the last 2 days, but but I did work today. I wasn't just like a drunkard, so that's good. So if we were to drink every day, it'd probably be a lot harder to do things we should do and read, or work or anything like that. Let's see here. I'm looking for a certain verse. Yeah, they that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. Look not thou upon the wine that is red, when it is given its color in the cup, when it moveth itself around. At the last it biteth like a serpent, okay? That's describing like the devil. And stingeth like an adder. Interesting. Like, the way the Bible is written, it's really the most profound poetry. You know, and if it's written as history, it's historical context, but sometimes it's poetic and it's allegorical, and it's like so amazing. Like, let me try that again, this verse 30. So, that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine, check this out. Look not thou upon the wine that is red, when it giveth his color in the cup, when it moveth itself around. You know, you think of like this wine moving in a cup, like at last it biteth like a serpent and stingeth like an adder. That's amazing. Like, the wine is like a snake moving around in the glass. Thine eyes shall behold strange women, and thine heart shall utter perverse things. Perverse things, right? Satanic things, bad things, evil things. Yuck, gross. That's not good. Yea, thou shalt be as he that lieth down in the midst of the sea, like crazy suicidal things. And if you're having suicidal thoughts, that's Satan trying to like take advantage of you. Satan wants you to die and go to hell, you know? And we've all battled those sort of thoughts and stuff, but that's just evil. You can't let that stuff win. You know, you have to maybe read the Bible in those times of weakness. Or he that lieth upon the top of a mast. They that stricken me shall thou say, And I was not sick. They have beaten me, and I felt it not. When shall I awake? I will seek it out again. So when I wake up, I'll look for alcohol again. It's saying like, yeah, I'm not sick. And, people have, like, they call it beer muscles, where they get in a fight when they're drunk and they get all beat up and I don't feel anything and stuff like that. I'm drunk and stuff. But really, I mean, how good is that? It's not great. I mean, look at Conor McGregor. He just won a fight and he was completely sober. The fight before that, he said he had a little whiskey before the fight and got knocked out, actually. So maybe he thought, I wouldn't feel the punches as much, but he wasn't as nimble. He wasn't as dynamic as a fighter on the alcohol. And it's so true. I mean, even sometimes when I perform music, I want to have a few beers to like loosen me up, but it always ends up hurting me rather than helping me. So good. So these are just a few things I wanted to talk about, and we're getting close here, but this one, it's cool. I got some more things to say, so we'll just keep going. Yeah. And actually, it says the Bible is talking about how drink is for those who are perishing, and then wine is for those of a bitter heart. So, I mean, do you want to be perishing? Do you want to be passing away and things like that? I mean, not really. And I also found this interesting. They mixed some wine and gall to give when Jesus was on the cross, and he still would not drink it. And in that horrible situation when he was in all this pain and agony, he still wouldn't drink the alcohol because he didn't want to become, render himself confused or cloudy or anything. God wouldn't do that. Okay, he was literally God, and he wouldn't allow himself to do that. But and this whole thing of water turning into wine at the wedding feast, I just want to speak on that again. How I mentioned, there's wine versus new wine. Jesus' mother came over and said, there was no more wine, and Jesus said, fill several jars of water, and he made it into fresh grape juice. And people in our perverse society would say, like, yeah, you save the best stuff for last, like the strongest alcohol. Yeah, they said they saved the best for last, but it was actually the freshest wine you could get, which is wine right after the harvest, grape juice right after harvest. So, no, it actually wasn't really, really strong, like plum brandy, because you can get that all year, right? This was a wedding held in the wintertime, so you couldn't get that fresh harvest wine, but Jesus, turned that water into wine, into grape juice, the freshest of the fresh, and they were amazed, It wasn't a big drunken party. No, they were celebrating, and they were enjoying the freshest harvest wine in the middle of winter, and it was a miracle. So, yeah, I mean, and again, there is a reason it's on this earth and things like that, and there's probably some verses that I'm leaving out, and I can't cover everything, but I would just say, to be very, very moderate with that and very conservative with alcohol, and that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm definitely going to be, as I go forward, attempt and want to be more, and I will be more conservative with it, because I do want to fill my time with doing good things, like getting on here and talking about God and the Bible and stuff like that, rather than like sitting around drinking beer and just like messing around on the internet or something. But there's a time to rest, and there's a time to mourn and a time to laugh and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think it's probably better for us to do productive things and to spend time with the Bible. I like watching Christian debates. I study a lot of business. I study a lot of sales. I listen to podcasts. These type of things, Lastly, I'll leave you with and I appreciate everyone coming on here, and Kyle, what's up, man? It's really cool that we're hanging out and stuff, and hi to your mom and everything like that. But I would just say that Matthew 26:28, when Jesus is representing his blood as wine, it's not alcohol, actually. It's not fermented. It's unfermented grape juice, right? It's the new wine as a sign of perfect blood, and unleavened bread as a sign of the perfect body. So it's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. The Bible is the most poetic book there is, and that's why, I spend time talking about it, thinking about it, and again, I appreciate you guys. I want to thank you guys again for coming on here. I know I'm really rusty and things like that, but this is the start of a good thing. I do want to make this a daily thing, and hopefully I can get on here tomorrow. I do have some things going on, and I have a lot of work to do, but it's no excuse. I need to get on here, and I need to be talking about this stuff. They usually won't be this long. They'll probably be more like 10 to 15 minutes long. Like, I'll just talk about a couple verses. I kind of just reiterated like this whole video I just heard, but it's just a way of kind of getting back in the swing of things. So that's awesome. And thank you, and hearts, and that's awesome. Oh, I meant to do this. Cool. Well, I hope you guys have an awesome night. And again, use it for celebratory reasons, like at weddings, or if you make a big sale, or I don't know, something like that. Like when you truly are happy and successful, then maybe celebrate it with a little. But I go to these business meetings and things like that, and everyone is just getting drunk. It's so funny. I never thought like, these people, I rub shoulders with very well-off individuals who are rich and things like that, and you just think like, how do they act? How do they behave? I mean, they give away a lot of. I'm not saying all the business people drink and stuff, but it is an alcoholic culture. It really is. It's hysterical. Like, I just can't believe it. And here I am trying to be all serious and like business-like, and they're giving away booze at these events and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's to let people's guard down, to open them up and things like that, and make them more comfortable. But at the end of the day, how do you can loosen up with other things like jokes or just light talk, or and then get into some business and talk about that. You don't really need alcohol to relax, and there's other ways to do it. Run a bath. I mean, like read a book or watch your favorite show on TV. Stuff like that. Anyway, thanks again for joining me. And I'll leave these videos up, and I'm going to continue to make them, hopefully on a daily basis, now that I'm all kind of settled in with everything. And love you guys. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon. My name is Greg, and this is Mark 123 Ministries. All right? Have a good night. Bye now.